Hello, welcome back to Heretic Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. A couple things, but then a complaint. I want to vent. I want to vent to my friends. So this is a reading for the 3-5 human design profile, the Martyr Heretic. And if you don't know your human design profile, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there amongst a plethora of other information specific to your design. Now, no matter where you are in your awareness, knowledge, experiment with human design, these messages are more so meant to be an additional avenue or channel to receive a message and information, because not every 3-5 is a Leo or a, Virgo or whatever, So, self plug, of course, check out your zodiac sign readings as well. Those are all up and ready for you. Can't guarantee that they're going to coincide, but no doubt there'll be some overlap, maybe. What else? I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. If you haven't done so already, of course, it helps the space grow, and we love growth. And, I really do see it as a form of energy exchange. Now, on to my complaint. Where do I begin? So, what I've been doing is, I've been making one intro video that I, splice in or edit in to the beginning of every readings. Because, right, I say it one time and it's in every video, because my brain just can't compute that I'm repeating myself 24 times, but I have to keep reminding myself that I didn't say whatever I'm going to say in this specific video, right? So the editing software I have been using was CapCut. And I found out on Tuesday, the 18th, I believe that was. Wait, was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Was it even the 18th? Whatever it was. I want to say it was Tuesday. Let's see, 20th. Yeah, so Tuesday. Was it? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting lost in it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Anyway, so I found out, I saw this video of somebody talking about CapCut changing their terms of service, and they changed it drastically. Basically, what they changed is that if you upload any content to CapCut, they have given themselves rights to your content to be able to do whatever they want with your content for as many times as they want, for as long as they want. And I think that is crappy. I think that is terrible. I feel like that is siphoning energy out of people. And I'm honestly, I'm just so sick of companies, corporations, businesses doing that to people. I am under no illusion either that CapCut would ever use my tarot content for anything. That's the only thing I ever upload into CapCut. So I'm under no illusion, but it's the principle of the thing. Not only that, let's say you uploaded content to CapCut. Let's say you used a copyrighted audio that you don't have the technical license or rights to use, right? And then let's say CapCut uses that video for whatever purpose they are going to use it, because they have free reign, they own your content, and then they get flagged for copyright. Well, you're the one that's on the hook for it, not CapCut. So not only are they stealing people's energy, their time, their creativity, also, they're not paying for it, and they have no responsibility for, using it. So I'm just pissed. And all I ever edited in my videos was I would put that intro video at the beginning of all of the readings. And then I would just edit out any like extended periods of time of silence, because there are times that I'm literally just sitting here staring at the cards, feeling into them, looking at them from top to bottom, corner to corner, just trying to figure out like what I want to say, to, formulating words, because that takes time sometimes for me too, is to get the words out of my, from my head out of my mouth. Or, there are times too where it takes like 2 minutes of shuffling until, cards come out. I just automatically assume that people don't want that, There's also times that my dog freaks out because somebody's walking by and he has to protect the manor. Or, for some reason I get up and walk away from the desk for a second or whatever, and I edit those things out. And honestly, this is kind of the interesting part of all of this, is that Mars entered Virgo right like the day that I found out, or that I saw the video. I saw it on TikTok. And Virgo is my moon. I'm a Cancer rising. So, my chart ruler is in Virgo, third house of communication, amongst other things. And I think it's hilarious that the program, and I'm not going to lie, it actually took me 2 days to come to that realization, because I was freaking out. Like, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make these videos? Like, I do think that maybe it is like my Virgo moon, that need or desire like for perfection in a certain sense. Like, by no means were my videos ever, like picture perfect or anything. But like I said, I could take out things that I didn't find, to be, I don't know, what's the word? I want to say palatable, but that's not it. Whatever. I could I could take out these parts where I'm like, I can't find a word. I'm stumbling, and I just kind of like pivot into a completely different direction or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could, that's the thing though, is that it was kind of spliced together. It was cut up, and it wasn't raw, I guess. And it, like I said, it took me 2 days to kind of calm down about it, like put my feet back on the ground and realize that honestly, this is probably it has to be, right? I mean, truly, everything has to be for your benefit. And, I came to this conclusion that I'm like, this can only be for the betterment of the readings, for the channel, for myself too, just even my own personal growth, because also it is going to be more authentic. And I do want to show up authentically. And quite frankly, I thought that I was. Not that I was, like putting on a show or anything, but I could cut out those things that weren't perfect. So it's almost kind of like, and also my IC is in Virgo, my midheaven is in Pisces. and I've heard multiple times through like receiving astrology readings to lean into the Pisces more than the Virgo. So, yeah, so the only difference to the readings is going to be, there may be parts where there are, moments of silence, and I will try to inform you of those things. I don't know. I don't know if I will. You might hear my dog freaking out sometimes, like it really is going to be exactly how it shows up, like exactly how the reading goes down and whatever background stuff happens. So are there other editing softwares out there? Honestly, sure. I used a program before. I used CapCut, but it was so time consuming to do the little bit of editing. Sorry if that was loud. I'm going to do it one more time actually. So, okay. So yeah, I used that for the first three profile readings that I did. And then I was like, you know what? That's when I had the realization that, you know what, this is actually going to work out probably better. And I have to trust and believe that. And I think that was in part because I was hating that program that I was using, and I was like hating the process. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to dread having to do this process of editing videos, and literally just kind of allowing myself to like work through, even, we can call it the emotional wave, really, because I am emotionally defined. I'm a 5/1 manifesting generator, emotionally defined. And I think it was like truly like I came to like a neutral. I'm like, you know what? This actually isn't like as bad as I thought maybe it was going to be. And wow. Again, there's way too many cards. We'll see how it goes. So, hey, that's my spiel. That's my complaint. If you're using CapCut yourself, I wouldn't. I would find another program, or, honestly, if you Google the whole thing, like there's a couple Reddit posts about it that have suggestions for other editing softwares to use. And I downloaded one of them and I'm like, again, like, I have to sneeze. Ooh. Sorry. Thank you. Somebody said it. Oh, yeah, it just, I'm sure it's a great program, a great, like, software, but for the little shit that, like, I need to do, I'm like, honestly, it just isn't worth it either. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But like I said, it's kind of hilarious that all of this happened when Mars went into Virgo. Not to mention too, like, Jupiter just went into Cancer not that long ago, which is my first house. And it's like squaring Saturn and or Neptune in my 10th house. So, first house, self, identity, all of that. 10th house is career, like how you like show up in the world, like how people perceive you and stuff. And, it's just funny how that happens. So we have to trust the process. And also too, like, how am I going to be sitting here telling you to trust the process if I'm like spiraling, which Honestly, I think the spiral is like part of the process because, you know, like that's what brought me to the conclusion. So anyway, okay, I am, you know, shuffling for cards for our 3-5, our martyr heretics. I hope you're all doing well also. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck because we want commitment, and I don't take them seriously unless they fall out of the deck, but also we don't take like a third of the deck. So like there's a, you know, a happy medium, you know, like the whole Red Riding Hood thing, or was it Red Riding Hood? Like, you know, just right. Temperance. Hilarious. I was just talking about Little Red Riding Hood or whatever, and you know, the just right, is that who it is, right? Like does she like go through and like she tries all of the different beds until she finds one that's just right. Like she tries all the porridge until she finds one that's just right. Like that's, I feel like that's like very kind of temperance energy. At least that's how it's coming through. Maybe it's just like two more cards. What about temperance? Oh, okay. We have the Six of Wands sideways, and that's how it came out, or that's how it like fell on the table. One more. I always, especially when a card comes out sideways in the middle of the reading, it always feels like a bridge to me. One more. Two more. What is this? The Three of Cups, Eight of Swords. Interesting. Six of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. What is this? Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, let me just kind of make sure I can fit all these into the frame. There is at least a pause button on my camera, I just found out. So that's nice, because I went to blow my nose because I'm not just going to be sniffling in your guys' face. And when I looked, I'm like, oh, there's a pause button. Let me just press that. I'm not going to be pausing and restarting, though, like constantly. But at least that's good to know if I do end up needing to like walk away from the table for any reason. All of a sudden, I'm like yawning. Oh, big yawn. Okay. What was that all about? Like oxygen to the brain? Has this process been exhausting to you or tiresome? You know what this is also giving me the feeling of this Temperance card is releasing the energy of a Horcrux from Harry Potter. Because I feel like that's just how it looks. You know, there's just this like burst of like smoke or whatever that comes out of it, and in there is you know, just different images. Temperance is actually Sagittarius, which is also Jupiter. And temperance is alchemy. It's the blending together of energies. There's a patience aspect that goes into temperance too, because it takes time to find the right blend. Like I was even saying with the whole what was it? Red Riding Hood? Is that the right reference? If it's not, I'm so sorry, but I am going to continue to use it. Like the Three Little Pigs. I could be like mixing stories here, but whatever. You know, and they had to go through, or she, whatever, you know, had to try every bed. This one's too hard. This one's too soft. This one's just right. This porridge is too hot. This is too cold. This is just right, you know? And even too, how it was probably a mixture of, you know, the hard and soft mattresses that were just right. It was like a mix of the hot and the cold that were just right. You know what I mean? Like, but it is, and especially with you guys having that third line, it is trial and error. It is, you know, trying things out, because that's how you get the information. What is too hot? What is too cold? What is just right? You know? So, yeah. Temperance would be like the process of discovering that. I was trying to like figure out what... It kind of looks like it's like maybe a bucket or something that they have. I wonder if the book says. Like, I'm just curious because obviously, you know, like in the traditional temperance card, they have two cups that they are, you know, usually pouring from one cup into the other cup. Let's see. Balance, equilibrium, wisdom, peace. Oh, it's just a box. It says predator. Oh, I thought my dog was going to start barking. Predator and prey burst forth from a box clasped in a woman's hands. Everything in this world hinges on the nuances of balance. Where something is taken, it must be given. Light is necessary to cast it. What? Apologies. That is the second time. That is the second time that I have choked on my own spit today. TMI. No, but this morning, I have never coughed or even choked like that in my life. And I feel like my voice even sounds a little different, like, because my throat is kind of raw, and literally that didn't help. Sorry about that. Light is necessary to cast a shadow. Temperance appears to encourage you to maintain equilibrium as you have so far. You are praised for your thoughtfulness and peaceful nature. It takes developing a special thoughtfulness to understand the duality of the world and to accept your peace within it, your place within it. Access your inner knowledge to answer your queries and trust yourself. This is a card of self-reflection and careful planning. Interesting. I'm just like staring at this card. And clearly too, like since it was the first card that came out, like clearly there's something that you have been working on, are working through maybe too. With these two different energies, and literally this person sitting there in the middle, almost like waiting for the pieces to fall or the dust to settle. And, maybe you have been working on figuring out like what your equilibrium is. Where is the center point? Like where is the balance in these things? In your situation, in your experience, whatever the case may be, obviously for your situation. And then the bridge that we have here is the Six of Wands. Wands have to do with the actions that we take, the motivation behind those actions, creativity, passion, desire. How are you communicating those things? What actions are you taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information by way of experience because, again, right, like that's what you get by trying things. That's the trial and error process. You get information. It is wisdom, like you have more information than say the person next to you, or a 2-4 or whatever, because it is in your nature to try things. And the Six of Wands is a card of success and victory, recognition. Maybe that is something that you want. Maybe that is also like something that you need to see in the situation, that it's like giving yourself props, even recognizing your success around the thing. honoring where you've come from, honoring where you are. Because it's not like there are other people on this card. Usually, traditionally, I should say, the Six of Wands is like surrounded by other people. But this person, interestingly enough, they've literally dressed themselves up as a fish. So that they can swim like with the fishes. Interesting. Camouflage. I'm not sure how I feel about this. In this reading specifically, not like literally, like, have you ever like seen those videos of people that will like camouflage themselves and then put like the little like hummingbird feeders, like they'll attach it to like a mask or to their hands or something, and then video hummingbirds drinking from them. Like, I would do that shit. But this, to me, like, it's feeling like changing your identity to fit in, or trying to, it's like the square peg round hole thing too. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not a fish, but here you are dressed up as one so that you can hang out with the fishes. In an environment that you won't survive in. At least not for long. Being underwater, right? That reminds me too of like that movie Ever After, which is like one of my like top 5. I love that movie. But she says something something along the lines of uh a a bird can love a fish, but a bird can love a fish, but I don't know, something, like, how would that ever work? I'm paraphrasing it because I can't remember exactly. And then was it Da Vinci that said, "Then I shall make her wings," like make the fish wings so that she can fly like the bird, which is, romantic, and he made her wings, so she could go to the ball, and I mean, she looked gorgeous and whimsical, but a fish cannot live out of water for very long either. So how would that ever work? I know that's being very literal, but how would that ever work? I mean, it didn't in the movie. It did in the end, though. They figured it out. And like I said, like this, it feels like a bridge here. Oh. Public recognition, victory, progress, self-confidence. A woman wears the head of a fish and is joyously hailed as a queen of the fishes. This card is about success, victory, and public recognition. You are achieving your goals and being recognized for your efforts. Although you have overcome some challenges along the way, you are forced on what really matters. Oh, you are focused on what really matters. Hold your head high, for you are worthy of attention and praise. At the same time, man, guard against arrogance and self-importance. Keep in mind that your own success does not diminish that of others, and that the best way to promote your own happiness is to promote that of others as well. And it is like, what is your motivation here? Like, what is the motivation with the Temperance card? What is the motivation for success or recognition? We have the Three of Cups and the Eight of Swords. It almost feels like proving somebody wrong. It almost feels too about like, a concern for a lack of support or recognition. The Three of Cups is about networking and friendship and support from others. There's at least 3 people on here. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it looks like they're kind of like in a swamp and there's like frogs jumping all around. Like, it is usually a card of celebration, but this just doesn't feel very celebratory to me. But it does like feel like experiencing the same thing in proximity to other people. Right? Like they're all 3 of them are in the same water. The same, I don't know if this is a swamp, I'm just calling it that. With frogs spread out there. I mean, it could be an experience that or even like a repeated um behavior, or just something that was like handed down. Like, I'm just kind of getting like generational things. And part of the reason why it doesn't necessarily feel celebratory is because of the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is like a self inflicted mind prison. It's not a ton of fun. It's not a great mental space to be in. Swords have to do with our mind, our thoughts, mindset, thought process, truth, honesty, intellect, logic. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings. It becomes our belief system. It becomes our temperament, our personality, the reasons why we do and don't do things. I don't think I even talked about cups, but that's our emotions. How are we feeling about ourselves, about our lives, about the people in our lives, where we're going? How do we communicate our emotions? What is our relationship to love? How do we give it? But more importantly, how do we receive it? Heart chakra. Emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. And that's kind of why I was like even saying over here, like, what is the motivation here? Because is the motivation to remain, or even to like keep up with the Joneses, or, a fear of like being left out, left behind, something, because the Eight of Swords is putting you into like a spiral. There's these eight swords surrounding this falcon or hawk that is also like blindfolded. Their eyes are closed in the Three of Cups. So again, it just with the hawk, is it a falcon? I'm sure the book says, does it matter? I don't know. Yeah, a falcon. They literally have to rely on their training. I don't think that they necessarily fly with their hood on, right? Because otherwise, like, how would they see what they're doing, right? Like, wasn't there was like some, I think it was like a documentary about the Native American or the indigenous people that use hawks for like, or falcons for hunting. They train them that way. And I think maybe they put the hoods on like just to prevent them from like maybe being distracted, or to like calm them down or something. But it is interesting that in both of these cards, their eyes are closed or hooded, you know? So it's almost like something internal is going on, not something external. So again, is it like a feeling of reliving something? The Three of Cups says friendship, support, compassion, social energy. Three women soak together amongst the frogs. The Three of Cups is a card of friendship and support. Spend time with those around you who keep you afloat. It is a social period, and time should be spent with a group. The energy and compassion of others will bring a fresh charge to your life. And maybe that is what it is. Like maybe you do need to be in close proximity to other people. And that's what will bridge this thing here. That's what will allow, the energy of the Temperance card to, like, that dust to settle, the pieces to fall. And it's like, it's almost to not being so like in the mix of it. The Eight of Swords says imprisonment, isolation, mental traps, powerlessness. A hooded falcon sits within a cage of blades. The Eight of Swords describes a situation in which you feel cornered by your own negative thought patterns. Sometimes our problems appear larger in our heads than they are in reality, and so we refuse to open our eyes to see the truth. This card urges you to reevaluate the situation at hand by being emotionally and intellectually honest with yourself. Often you are only as powerless and victimized as you believe yourself to be. And truly too, like, even again, getting together with friends and sharing whatever is going on in your head, sharing what you are trying to achieve over here with the Temperance card. The success that you want to have around it. Even, allowing your whatever, the support group would be for you, allowing them to recognize your efforts and, prop you up a little bit. What's also interesting is that at the bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. And they are also underwater here, right? So like both of the sixes that are out here are underwater. Water being emotion, right? But whereas this person in the Six of Swords, or Six of Wands, is only dressed up, as a fish, this person on the Six of Pentacles is literally a mermaid. So that could even be the thing that is happening here with the Temperance card. Something is changing to where it could even be finding the right environment for you. This situation with the Three of Cups and the Eight of Swords could be making the right connections or meeting different people that are more in alignment, putting yourself out there. Honestly, I mean, they could even have advice for that or something, but there's like something here that is changing. To where even that example with Ever After, it's like finding a solution. The little fish with its wings, like somehow, it's like somehow something happens and you're able to like sustain in the environment. I don't know. I hope that's making sense. I think that is so interesting how that even came out like that way. Like how these cards came out, to be as they are. The Six of Pentacles says generosity, charity, balance, reciprocity. A mermaid generously doles her wealth out to her sturgeon friends. The winds are charitable, and camaraderie abounds when this card shows up. The coin cards preceding this one are omens of imbalance, but this card shows an equal flow of giving and receiving. Whether you are giving or receiving, know that everything is reciprocal and will be made even by the end of the day. While the suit of coins is often about wealth, this can easily speak to healthy romance or other relationships. And we have the Three of Cups out here. Which does talk about, relationships in some aspect. We have the Nine of Swords behind that. The Seven of Pentacles. So we go from the 8 to the 9, the Six of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles, which it just is like progressing through the energy. The Nine of Swords does talk about anxiety, fear, doubt, It's almost kind of having to contend with these swords here and sort through your shit, like sort through your mental stuff. Whatever is the representation of the Six of Pentacles here, moving on to the Seven of Pentacles. Simple pleasures, happiness, no drastic change, comfort. This card is about comfort. Simple pleasures are better, and they encourage happiness to be found at home. Yeah, and again, working through the thoughts that are, spiraling or whatever that's going on in your head here. It's almost too like getting out of your own way. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to vent, for allowing me to read your cards, and for being here. I will talk to you soon. Bye.